Hello everyone. So today we will discover or we will study the chapter Fundamental Unit of Life, which is given in class 9th NCERT. It's the biology first chapter of class 9th. So today we will be going to study about what is cell made up of, how the cell has been discovered, and what are the various organelles which are present among the cell. So let us start, students. So the first chapter of biology, the cell. So at first we have to learn or we have to know what is cell. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life, means basic structures and functions performed in the body of organism is performed by the cell. Cell are the building blocks of an organisms. The organisms, whether they are unicellular, whether they are multicellular, organisms which are made up of single cell are known as unicellular, for example protozoa, and the organism which are made up of many cells are known as multicellular, and examples are mammals, aves, and many much we will know about this later. So whether they are unicellular or whether they are multicellular, cell is present among all the organisms. So let us discuss the brief history of the cell, how the cell has been discovered, and who are the scientists who had discovered the cell. So let us start. Firstly, Robert Hooke in 1664 has observed the cell in primitive microscope. Robert Hooke had discovered the cell for the first time but in the corpse slice, but it is a non-living cell. So research starts going on, and finally in 1665 the scientist Anton von Leeuwenhoek has discovered the first living cell in the pond water. The basic idea was given by the Robert Hooke that the cell is present among every organism. But in 1665, Anton von Leeuwenhoek has discovered that the cell is present in the pond water. And how can it be possible that water, a non-living substance, can possess a cell? So this has many questions, and finally he had answered that a free floating cell. A free floating cell was discovered by him. Means the algae which is present in water, that which is floating on the water surface, those cell has been discovered by the Anton von Leeuwenhoek, and in 1665 Anton von Leeuwenhoek was the first one to discover the first living cell. The research goes on, but during the time of Robert Hooke, the microscope has not been so easy now as they are now. So at that time primitive microscope was there, and with the help of primitive microscope Robert Hooke has discovered the cell. And after some, means 1 year gap, but by the research given by Robert Hooke, the curiosity has been encouraged in the scientist, and an improved microscope was made through which Anton von Leeuwenhoek has seen the cell. And the research goes on and on, and in 1831 Robert Brown, a scientist, has discovered the nucleus in the cell. Now we will be going to discuss about nucleus and protoplasm, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulums briefly after this topic. For now, you have to learn that Robert Brown was the first scientist who had discovered the nucleus. After the discovery of nucleus by Robert Brown, Purkinje, the scientist, discovered the protoplasm, the fluid present in the cell, was discovered by Purkinje in 1839. So all these scientists has a great contribution in the cell biology. Now cell theory was given. What is cell theory? Cell theory states that all plants and animals are made up of cells. In 1838, scientist Squillian has discovered that all plants have cells, and in 1839 a zoologist scientist Squan has discovered that all animals are made up of cells, and the observations of both has been combined and a cell theory was made that all plants and animals are made up of cell. But it has some limitations. It has fungi and algae and many other organisms are also made up of cells. Whether it is a protozoa, this is also made up of cell. Means they had stated that multicellular organisms are made up of cell, but the reality is that all organisms, it was further corrected that all organisms are made up of cells. Now in 1885 the cell theory was further explained by the scientist Virchow. Virchow has given that omnicellula ecellula, which means that the cell arises from the pre-existing cell, which has given a basic idea about the cell reproduction, which will you going to study in your higher classes. But for till now you have to learn that Virchow has given omnicellula ecellula, which means all cells arises from pre-existing cells. So this was the brief history about the cell. Now we will be going to study about cell, how the cell has been made, what are the living organism made up of, are the cell present among all organism. These questions we will be finding out from this chapter, so let us continue. Now in your NCERT, a small activity is given. I am going to read it out. Please listen. Activity 5.1. Let us take a small piece from an onion bulb with the help of a pair of forceps. We can peel off the screen called epidermis from the concave side of the onion. This layer can be put immediately in a watch glass containing water. This will prevent the peel from getting folded or getting dry. What do we do with this peel? Let us take a small glass slide, put a drop of water on it and transfer a small piece of onion peel from the watch glass onto the slide. Make sure that peel is perfectly flat on the slide. A thin camel hair paintbrush might be necessary to help transfer the peel. Now we put a drop of saffron solution on this piece followed by a cover slip. Take care or take care to avoid the air bubbles while putting the cover slip. With the help of mounting needle, ask for your teacher for your help. We have prepared a temporary mount of onion peel. We can observe this slide under low power followed by high power of compound microscope. So let us know what this activity is trying to tell about us, tell about the cell to us. Here we have taken a slice, a peel of onion, and we are trying to observe cell in this onion peel. So this experiment you will be performing in your practical, but maybe in the further higher classes. With the help of microscope we will see the cell. We will find the cell in the onion root tip. A basic diagram of onion peel cells is given in your NCERT, which is important from your examination point of view. So let us draw that diagram and let us study about cell. So this is the basic diagram of cells of onion root peel given in your NCERT book. So let us discuss about this diagram given in your NCERT for studying about the cell. So in this diagram you are observing these red colored boxes. These are the cell and this is the nucleus. This is the nucleus, which is the center of the cell. So similarly, Robert Hooke has said that these cells are the building blocks of organism. Building blocks of an organism. Building blocks of an organism. This the Robert Hooke has given to us. So this diagram tells just about this. Now, seeing in this diagram, what are these structures? What are these structures? These structures look similar to each other. ये जितने भी स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं ये आपस में एक दूसरे के साथ बिल्कुल एक जैसे हैं. ये मिलकर के एक बहुत बड़ा स्ट्रक्चर या फिर कह सकते हैं हम एक बड़ा अनियन बल्ब बना लेते हैं. So similarly, these cells make a complex structure, or you can say these cells together form an organism. These small structures that we see in this diagram are the basic building units of the onion bulb. These structures are called cell. Similarly, in organism, the cells are building block of an organism, which together or combine to form an organism. So through this diagram they want to convey us this information. Now whether there is amoeba, chlamydomonas, paramecium or bacteria, they all are made up of cell. These organisms are called unicellular. Uni means single. Uni means single. And multi means many. So, uni means single and multi means many. If we are writing unicellular, means organism is made up of single cell. Examples are amoeba, paramecium, chlamydomonas, etc. Whereas multicellular means many cells. The organisms examples aves, birds हो गए, हमारे fishes हो गई, हमारे animals means mammals हो गए, they all are made up of multi cells. So this is the information that uni means single and multi means many, and the organism which are made up of single cell are called unicellular, and the organism which are made up of many cells are known as multicellular. Now cell divides to produce cells of their own kinds. All cells thus come from pre-existing cell. This information was given by Virtue. Virtue has given that omnicellula, e cellula means cell arises from pre-existing cells. नाउ दीज सेल डिवाइड टू प्रोड्यूस सेल्स ऑफ देयर ओन काइंड, यही सेल जो हैं वो डिवाइड कर जाती हैं और अपने जैसी और सेल बना लेती हैं। तो वर्च्यू ने जो हमारे को थ्योरी के अंदर, सेल थ्योरी के अंदर एक और जो है उन्होंने पॉइंट ऐड किया, दैट दे हैव सजेस्टेड दैट ऑल सेल्स अराइज फ्रॉम प्री एग्जिस्टिंग सेल्स। जो है वो उन्होंने बिल्कुल करेक्ट बोला, दैट सेल डिवाइड टू प्रोड्यूस सेल ऑफ देयर ओन काइंड। नाउ देयर आर सम एग्जांपल्स व्हिच आर गिवन इन योर NCERT. I am showing all of those to you people. This is the diagram of smooth muscle cells. This is the diagram of smooth muscle cell, which is a single, means unicellular cell. This is the unicellular smooth muscle cell. Now here are the examples of blood cells which are also unicellular. Now here the example of nerve cell. This diagram is of nerve cell. This diagram of fat cells, and these are bone cells, and sperm, the smallest cell in our body. This is the ovum, the largest cell in the body. So this information is given in your NCERT book. Please go through this. The shape and size of cells are related to the specific function they perform. Means जो shape और जो size होगा, shape and size of cell, shape and size of cell depends upon function they perform. Function they perform. The shape and size depends on the function they perform. Some cells like amoeba have changing shape. In some cases, the cell shape could be less or fixed and peculiar for a particular type of cell. जो हमने अभी डायग्राम के अंदर देखा कि नर्व सेल का एक स्पेसिफिक जो है साइज है और शेप है। क्यों? क्योंकि वो एक फंक्शन परफॉर्म करती है नर्व इम्पल्सेस को कंडक्ट करने का। तो उनके जो फंक्शंस हैं उन्हीं के ऊपर उनका साइज और उनकी शेप जो है वो होगी। Now each living cell has the capacity to perform certain basic functions that are characteristics of all living beings. What are the characteristics of all living things and what are the functions a cell perform? Now this is the question for you people. Please tell me this in your comment box. Please comment this and like this video. Now we will be studying that human body has heart to pump the blood, a stomach to digest the food, and and pair of lungs to perform respiration. What are these organs made up of? Organs like heart, like brain, you can say, the like stomach, lungs, they all are made up of cell. But how? Now question arises, how? So the question is how these are made up of cells. बच्चे, जो cells होती हैं आपकी वो कंबाइन करती हैं टू फॉर्म टिश्यू, जो आपका नेक्स्ट चैप्टर है। अब ये टिश्यूज कंबाइन होकर आपका बनाते हैं एक ऑर्गन जो कि कुछ सेल्स इकट्ठा होंगे, टिश्यू बनाएंगे और जो टिश्यू हैं वो मिलकर के आपका हार्ट बना देंगे। कुछ सेल्स जो हैं वो टिश्यू बनाकर आपका ब्रेन बना देंगे, कुछ स्टमक बना देंगे और कुछ लंग्स बना देंगे। तो different cells form different tissues which form different organs. Now these organs combine to form the organ system, and this organ system makes organism. This makes the organism. This is how the organism is developed from the cell. So cells combine to form tissues, and tissues combine to form organs, and organs combine to form organ system, and organ system makes the organism. So this is the example. Now the basic function of the cell is division of labor. फंक्शन का सेल का जो बेसिक फंक्शन है वो है डिवीजन ऑफ लेबर कि जो सेल्स हैं उनके अमंग आपका डिफरेंट डिफरेंट काम को जो है वो डिफरेंट डिफरेंट सेल्स को दे दे, मीन्स डिवीजन ऑफ सम फंक्शन. द मेजर function of the cell is division of labor. Each kind of cell organelle perform a specific function. So this function is done by the cells which are these cell organelle composed of. Let us take an example. We are making a new material let us make new material in the cell, clearing up the waste material from the cell and so on. Means आप जो है फंक्शन परफॉर्म कर रहे हो, या तो सेल को साफ कर रहे हो या तो सेल को आप जो है वेस्ट मटेरियल को रिमूव कर रहे हो. तो ये डिफरेंट डिफरेंट फंक्शंस जो हैं सेल ऑर्गेनली जो है परफॉर्म करते हैं. अ सेल इज कैपेबल ऑफ लिविंग. A cell is able to live and perform all its functions because of these organelles. सेल के अंदर कुछ ऑर्गेनलीज प्रेजेंट होते हैं. सेल जो है, अब सेल भी किन से बनी है? ये सेल भी जो है ऑर्गेनलीज से बनी है. These organelle perform various functions and उसी की वजह से जो है आपकी सेल वेरियस फंक्शंस को जो है परफॉर्म करती है. So अभी हम पढ़ेंगे these organelles. What are these organelles and how they perform various functions. Now the next topic of our next class is cell organelles. Examples of cell organelles are plasma membrane, nucleus and cytoplasm. All activities inside the cell and interactions of the cell with its environment are possible due to these cell organelles. So in our next video we will be studying about cell organelles. The first cell organelle in your NCERT is the plasma membrane, or also known as cell membrane, which we will be discussing in our next video. Thank you everyone. If you all like this video, if you have learned something from this video, if this video has got helpful to you, then please like, share and subscribe this video to at least 5 of your friends, and please say all those 5 friends to share all these videos to all other 5 friends. Thank you so much. Bye bye.